Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop-side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move!
James with no regard for human life. Final seconds. Bryant for the win. Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are back with another episode of the Sneaker History Podcast. This is actually going to be a Patreon exclusive, so shout out to all our Patreon members. If you haven't joined, if you know somebody who hasn't, tell them come on down so you can hear some dope stuff like we're talking about today. I got the homie Varian here with us. We are breaking down some Spider-Man No Way Home. So this is your last chance. Stop now if you don't want to hear the spoilers if you haven't seen it, because we're diving in and talking about everything that has happened, what we think is going to happen, and we're not pulling any punches. So
yo, that Howard the Duck cameo is mad crazy, yo. Spoiler alert.
If you missed it, then spoiler alert. Oh, snap, man. But I have to say, first off, before we even get into it, I think this has to be 1A, 1B with Into the Spider-Verse for me as best Spider-Man movie, hands down, including Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. So those three kind of fight it out, okay. But this one has definitely reached that threshold of this is the bar now.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I feel you on that. I love Spider-Man 2 also. It was so well done. But, like, the first Tobey movie has a special place in my heart because that was the one that really, like, set the bar where it was like, yo, we can make a Spider-Man movie look like the comics. You know what I mean? Like,
man.
I was just like, whoa. Yeah, I knew it was all, like, VFX or whatever, but the fact that you can see him, like, you know, react and flip and jump and, you know, just the way he swings, just like it is in the comics. I'm like, that was like, okay, you know, the door is open now. Like, you know, it's just going to get better from now, you know, here on out.
Yeah, it holds up well because, funny enough, me and my wife, we actually sat there and watched the 2002, the first Spider-Man movie. It holds up. I mean, you can definitely tell the VFX has definitely been vastly upgraded between now and then, but it still holds up as a great movie story-wise. But, I mean, it's insane. I mean, it really set a bar. I mean, we had a couple of movies before that, like X-Men and Blade, that really opened up the door for Marvel movies. But Spider-Man really gave you that general audience, and Spider-Man's the moneymaker.
Yeah.
like no matter what happens with Sony, how the kind of nonsense they were doing, Marvel finally kind of wrapped their arms around it.
Well, that's the reason why Sony was doing some, funny business, because Spider-Man's the moneymaker.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm glad Tom Holland kind of stepped in. I mean, like the way he puts it, it was more like he was treating it like, mommy and daddy were kind of having an argument, like they were going through a divorce, and he was like, "Yo, don't," So I'm glad he did that, and we got this.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember that was a couple months after Far From Home came out. They're like, "All right, we're done. We're pulling them." I was like, No. There's too much story to be told here. I think I was going to cry as a grown man. Like, we can't have this.
I was livid. I'm like, are you seriously going to do that nonsense? Like, I understand you guys hit it big with Into the Spider-Verse, but come on. Really? No.
But I have to say that the working relationship as well, I mean, clearly you can see from the numbers. I mean, I know if anyone's paying attention to the news, anybody who wants to know box office, Spider-Man in pandemic times where it sounds like we're kind of reverting back to a year ago, people still want to see it. So we're looking at a $253 million domestic opening, which is number 3 to only, it's kind of the big brothers of the group, the Avengers, Endgame, which was at, $357 million. And then, of course, the precursor was Infinity War, which is $257. So it was only $4 million behind Infinity War. And that is in a time where people are still kind of iffy about going to the movie. So give this 2 years ago or maybe 5 years from now, that's easily that record's tossed out the window.
Think about this. This is technically a solo movie, and it's measuring up against a collaborative movie.
Yep. But man, I have to say, I mean, going into the movie, of course, we all had our expectations because everywhere you look, there was a scooper coming out saying, ooh, someone's going to be in this movie or they're going to do this and that. Spoilers were everywhere, but no matter how many spoilers I saw about, this person's in a movie, this person, each moment of that movie gave me 20 different emotions. It was insanity, man. Like, I mean, we'll jump into the first spoiler.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Thank you for listening to the Sneaker History Podcast. You can catch the rest of this episode and more exclusive content by joining our Patreon community. For as little as $5 per month, you'll get access to our Discord community where you'll find links to new releases, hundreds of sneaker raffles from around the world, discounts from our partners, and most importantly, good people helping good people. Plus, we do giveaways, trivia nights, community Zoom calls, fantasy sports of all types, and much, much more. Give us a try, and you can always cancel your membership at any time. Head to patreon.com/sneakerhistory to join. Thanks again for listening and rocking with us. We appreciate your support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace. Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.